But, we had, Jimmy Cagney, we had, I had really enjoyed during the pandemic watching all the girls.
Mhm.
Alice Faye, she was really pretty, Betty Grable, and she was married to Harry James, you know. And, let's see, Rory Calhoun, I liked him, he's he's black-headed, that's the reason I married to be a black, he used to be black-headed man.
Used to.
She thought I was right now.
The black hair before.
And, you know, of course, back during the 40s, Frank Sinatra come along. That's when he got popular. He was a young man, and he got popular. You know, that's some of the ones. Oh, yeah, and we had a radio, but you didn't just leave radio on all the time like we do our TVs now. But we would listen to, there's usually a movie on, you know, to listen to on, I can't remember if it's Saturday or Sunday night. But we had the hit parade, you know, and let us listen to that, different things.
The radio didn't come on till 6 o'clock at night.
No.
It wasn't on during the day.
It was, I think the radio was on, it was the TV that didn't come on till, oh, okay.
Did y'all read any of the serials that were in the newspaper, Leeds News? They, you know, each week they would have a story of,
Oh, yeah, I love to
book.
read those, what was her name? He used to write those,
Well, there were several, but there was, you know.
What was your person's name? Do you remember like a lot of cars driving around? Like what type of cars or no cars?
Well,
Very
when your
few.
daddy worked at the cement plant, Daddy had a little blue car, and that thing, cement plant then, you look out and you see the fog.
You live by there.
They had not learned to control it. And, back then, you know, going down on Montebello Road, you know where the bridge is,
Yes,
just
ma'am.
okay, that bridge was built in 1940. They had, well, it may have been 39 and 40, but that's when they built that, because, see, that was a dirt road. They was paving that when I was in the first grade, and I had to walk to Mount Hebron School, I think, with the first year of Mount Hebron School. And, now what was your question?
Wait, are we talking about the
Cars.
bridge by
Cars,
Ziegler
yeah,
Road?
well, see,
Is that the bridge we're talking about?
She said Montebello.
the bridge right there below Foot,
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't,
just before you get to Mountain View Lane,
Okay.
that bridge.
right there where the little houses, the little.
Well,
Yeah, the
Susan
little house.
Tarzan Wells lives.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
right.
okay.
That's the bridge I'm talking about.
Right.
Right before, right past Fuller's Mill.
Mm.
Yeah, you forded the
Yeah.
creek there.
Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, 40 the creek, okay.
okay. Well, there was a grist mill there.
Fuller's Mill.
Yeah, Fuller's Mill. And you could, the way the bridge was before they built it, you could drive down in there and it was just little pea gravels. And you could wash your car every now and then, you know, that didn't happen too often.
Very few times I walked.
Cause we had a well, you didn't use a hose pipe to wash it, we had a well, we didn't have running water in the house at that time.
So to backtrack a little bit, how many siblings did you have?
3,
Okay. And you were the youngest of the three?
I was youngest, 2 boys and 2 girls, my family.
Did the boys have different expectations than you did when you were young?
Yes,
Well,
most definitely.
what we did was mostly in the house and theirs was out, yeah.
Yes.
But, like mowing the grass, you had a slinging blade.
I still say
then my
news.
brother, my oldest brother, he was 10 years older than me. His birthday was in June and mine was in August, so we were 10 years apart. And see, he left to go to the military when I was 6 and a half or 7. So I don't, when he come back, well, he never did really live back at home. He moved to Illinois because he had a 2-year pen pal up there who is in the Navy on a ship, a friend of his
Yeah.
sister-in-law.
That's London.
Yeah.
Oh.
But my father, he liked, besides keeping up with what's going on in the world, he was really a sports. He liked all kinds of sports. And he, you know, we got to see the football games and all that because Daddy liked them. And they were there where the elementary school is. That was, that you had no light. You always played in the daytime because we didn't have any lights or anything. You just had to sit on the bank. You didn't have folding chairs and all that. Do the best you can.
Was it like high schoolers playing football?
Yes.
It is, okay.
Yes, yes.
So, what was your favorite home cooked meal?
Well, I like peas and corn and, you know, we ate out of the garden a lot. I think that's the reason my parents lived to be 90 and 91. And I think that's one of the reasons, you know, and, they give us some good genes.
Hey, Rob made it to 102, so y'all just kicking.
Yeah, and.
Butter beans and fried potatoes were
Yeah, he
the
likes
main
fried
thing.
butter beans,
And-
fried
and
potatoes.
cubed potatoes and
Uh-huh.
fry 'em.
Oh yeah, I bet.
That was our main
Of
meal.
course, I
One
like
time that's
fried
all we had.
chicken. See, my mama would go out there and she'd round up a chicken and wring its neck, duck it in hot water and pluck it and
Uh-huh.
cut it up, cook it. Particularly for breakfast, that was so good because it would be a little, a small chicken. They would raise little chickens, and then when they get a certain age, they were what you'd call frying age.
So, would you eat a lot of meat during nighttime for dinner time?
No,
Or
we ate more vegetables.
from
We
the
didn't,
garden?
we didn't, they would,
Well, we raised our own meat and it just did, there were seasons you had it.
See, they had-
It-
they
it
were- in
was
the
really
wintertime.
seasonable.
Yeah.
in the wintertime, they would have a hog that they would, and they had a smokehouse. We still have my mom and daddy's smokehouse.
Oh. So, and that's
Josh
on,
has it now.
yeah, that's on.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on his property. Cause Josh inherited my parents.
That's her-
my
their grandson.
and he
Oh,
knows.
okay.
And, of course, he's moved, and it's gotta be 100 years old because my parents married in 24, and my brother was born in 23, and my brother was born in 24 in the house that, you know, that Josh lives in. Of course, it's been remodeled.
Josh is, like I said, a grandson. He's more like my son's age, but he and his dad were the electricians that built our house. Mr. Johnson is an electrician
Oh, okay.
by training, and so they did the electrical work and still does do electrical work on the house. You know. I still call on him.
Did you have any like holiday traditions or just traditions in general that you would do?
Well, I had, one of my mother's aunt, sisters, my aunt, they lived down there at Bridgeton, but, you know, it wasn't called Bridgeton anymore, it was called Bow Spring. But, they would usually come on Christmas Eve, and they opened, I didn't understand this. Santa Claus come to their house while they was come to our house. But, I was with our family, both sides, my mother and my father. We were just close family knit, you know, and, it was, you know, it's, Japanese fruit cake. My mother would bake a Japanese fruit cake. And her sisters did too. And, it was, a lot of things we did together with family.
You was talking about the traffic a while ago. If you heard a car coming, you could hear him about a mile away. And everybody would run out to see what kind of car it was. You know, 'cause you didn't have very many cars that come at all.
Yeah, I bet. Especially with how much production skyrocketed after 1940, it was very rare to see stuff like that. And that kind of makes me want to ask what it was like getting older and seeing all these different forms of technology start to come out. Like you said that your mom had a lot of the newer appliances at the house.
Yes.
Like the electric stove.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all kept the
Electric
stove.
iron, used to, they had to warm it on the stove, you know,
Mhm.
or to get it hot. I never did that with it. And my mother, my sister and I, we did not actually work in the garden. She didn't want her daughters working in the garden, so I was glad.
Do you remember any other technology when you were getting older that you noticed that kind of just was like, wow, we have that now?
Well, I remember my cousin, she had a record player,
Oh.
and she lent it to my sister so we could, listen to that record player, yeah.
I got one of them now.
You play 78s?
Maybe not, but I stick to the.
I have a Van Halen record, so. You said that you would walk to school.
Yeah, that first year, yes.
Were there any other ways that you got to school or went to church or anything? Besides like driving or walking?
No.
No, just driving and walking.
Mm-hmm. It was a mile.
A mile.
From our house to, Mount Hebron School was a mile. And the thing about it, you don't see it nowadays. But like we had last week, that cold weather, the ground would spew up. It don't do that because, I guess because we have all these cars on the road, you know, the concrete and everything, it makes heat, you know, but it would, it would freeze and just like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about, Randy?
I do, yeah, right, the ground would freeze and come up and make it not easy to walk and make it trip,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah.
But that was an experience, you know, it was, and there's three of us, I had my cousin and then a friend that lived across the road, and us three little girls would walk home. Now, when we were going, we would have the older kids with us, but we got out early, we got out an hour early, and I know one time that there's some boys that were in the third grade, which was in our room, you know, it's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. And I don't know what they's doing, I don't know, they're throwing rocks at us, but they was saying ugly words to us, and I don't know what kind of words they're saying, but we come home and my daddy was building a barn where our house sits now. They
Okay.
had a old barn there, and they tore it down, and the daddy had taken the lumber out of there and building him a barn, and we were scared to death. But they kept those kids in and made them wait till the other kids got out. They didn't want to bother us little girls. But it was an experience, and that's what I was saying about, they had, trucks going in and out of Chimney Rock Road, going back there and getting church and put on that road, preparing it. So it was at 40 or 41 is when they.
That's important to know, thank you.
When they did that. And it went down to, I can't remember if it stopped at Grantsville or if it went all the way. See, the Jefferson County goes all the way to the boat landing.
And then
So
Shelby County.
I'm not
picks up,
sure
yeah.
where it stopped, I can't
Well, it was a
remember.
state road, so it might have gone on.
Yeah, that's what I thought, it probably did.
One of the oldest
And then
states.
it was still,
Yeah.
that was still dirt for a long time, you know, we had to go.
But where was it, where did the pavement stop
The
coming
pa-
out of Leeds?
Okay.
Before?
It stopped just before Norman Drive.
Ah,
In fact,
There's a big old oak tree there, almost in the road.
Oh.
Where-
I was telling, what's his name, the drugstore man,
School,
no.
oh, Ken Nelson.
Him, he said, oh, I know, you mean where the where the sidewalk stopped, he said, I said, yeah, he said, well, I know where that is, 'cause see, he lived on that street.
That's right, he did, yeah. It was, on the swimming holes, washing holes, baptismal pools, it was a swimming hole if the road was paved, it was a washing hole if the road wasn't paved.
I guess so.
You distinguish between which was which,
Okay.
one way, you know.
Yeah.
So, oh, you want to back to my question?
The
Oh,
other
no.
thing, the other thing he was talking about, I hope the question, the other thing we was talking about a while ago, we did, what activities did on, you know, with his children.
Uh-huh.
One of the things was climb Chimney Rock Mountain.
Oh, yeah, Chimney Rock, yeah.
She forgot to tell that,
Yeah.
that was the big
You just-
thing.
You just couldn't hardly get,
Climb Chimney
you
Rock.
just, your sweetheart had to go with you, Chimney Rock.
Yeah.
Now Jeff takes us up there and he's side by side. But, you want me to tell the story that I wanted to tell, that I thought they'd be interested in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, when this happened in 1906, all
which
those
the-
families had to move out.
Oh.
There's, some of them, a few of them stayed there. They didn't get flooded out. But if you look at the way, Lake Purdy has been looking 2 weeks ago, when it was way down,